Hi, it's Simone Novello from PartnerUp, and a lot of businesses tend to jump into a joint venture sometimes a little bit ill-prepared or a bit prematurely. So really wanted to talk to you today about what you must do before you form a joint venture. And I'm very pleased to have Chris Whitelaw of the Commercial Disputes Management Centre with me today. And now first I want you to remember that you're going on a first date before you're asking for marriage. So you might want to just, whatever you're looking at in terms of partnerships, slow down, and Chris is going to give you some great tips around how you can prepare for a successful partnership of any type, whether it's a marketing partnership or a joint venture, but particularly before you go jumping into bed with a partner, doing the right preparation.
What I'd say straight away, Simone, is that I've not just advised people about joint ventures, but I've been in a number of joint ventures from the beginning, and so I know what it's like to be caught up in that excitement. So whereas I totally agree with you that you don't want to get bogged down in expensive legal stuff or expensive agreements, somewhere along the line you have to stop and take a pause and a big breath and realize this venture really is going ahead. It's a serious thing. We have a chance to make a lot of money. Now we have to iron out a proper agreement. And it's at that point in time you have to give yourself that pause. Now, in terms of the way of doing that, well, if you could actually see a well-drafted joint venture agreement, you would actually see in the content exactly a snapshot of really what you need to do, because it's the way the agreement normally flows. And so, to begin with, there's going to be at the beginning of an agreement, it's going to set out what your purpose is in being together. And who wants to go ahead with something with other people if you're not clear about what your purpose is and what your vision is and what your chief goals are? So you need to have the time to sit down and talk about that and really make sure you're all on the same page. Because right there at the beginning, if you do this in a very honest, thorough way, you might find that you're not on the same page. You might find out that you haven't even talked about some important things. So that's the first thing, right? Then it moves into saying, okay, well, we're all on the same page about that. We are all wanting to head in the same direction, and we're in this for the same reason. But what is each of us going to do? Well, what's my responsibility? What are my duties? What am I going to do for this business venture? And what are you going to do? And how are we going to meet the challenges? What are the challenges? And when they come up, how are we going to deal with them? Because if you don't map it out in that very systematic, precise way and put the details in there, you know what that means. Down the track, something will happen and someone will say, why didn't you do that? That was your responsibility. And they say, no, where does it say that? No, that was yours. And there you have the beginning of a disagreement.
So a perfectly good partnership can go off the rails because you just don't prepare for it well. So what I think is great, we've done another blog on when JVs do go wrong if you're in that position. But otherwise, I think it's just really logical that it's a collaboration, and the agreement should be a collaboration rather than one party going off and hiring the lawyer. It's sitting around a table and doing it together.
And you plan for things that do go wrong. I mean, you've heard many business people say that. They plan for what will go wrong. And by doing that, they have an agreement that caters to all that, and so no one's left guessing and speculating. They plan for, well, what if we have a disagreement? This is what we're going to do. If someone wants to get out, this is how you do it. Everything has to be covered.
Really important. And Chris has got some wonderful resources for you, so I recommend you check out the links and make sure that you get your partnerships on the right foot.